Hello everybody and welcome to Entrepreneurs Library TV. I'm your host Adam Witty, W-I-T-T-Y, like clever, smart, and funny. And you're watching the most popular business book review show for entrepreneurs and business leaders. I'm a sucker for books on corporate culture. I've long been an admirer of companies like Disney and Southwest and Google and Nordstrom. And I'm amazed at how they constantly outperform their competitors. And the reason is simple. It's their people. Their people are their magic sauce. And they do a marvelous job of engaging with their people. So I was a sucker and ran to the bookshelf when I saw this one. Soup. A recipe to nourish your team and your culture. The author of the book is a gentleman named John Gordon. A couple of details on the book. It's published by Wiley. It was published in 2010, and it's a quick read. It's 163 pages long. 163 pages long. And here's what you should know about the book. I would bet, and I would argue, that your employees, your people, are the greatest asset. And they're also the greatest expense on your profit and loss statement. If you take care of them, though, they will take care of you. This book is a fable. It's a story. And the story is of a lady named Nancy. And she's just been brought in as the CEO of Soup Incorporated. It's a soup company that's losing money and sliding down the tubes, about to file for bankruptcy. Nancy's goal and her job is to save the company. Nancy learns, though, that to save her company, she must radically change the culture within the organization. And the leadership wisdom to do that is taught by Grandma. Not her grandma, but a grandma that owns a soup kitchen in her community. Throughout the book, Nancy has many meetings with Grandma, and the secret recipe to creating great culture in business is revealed. Now, for those of you that are thinking the premise of the book is pretty hokey, well, let me be the first to tell you, it is. That said, it provides a simple recipe to nourish your culture in simple and straightforward terms. And I'll be honest with you, after reading the book, I bought a copy for every single person in the Advantage executive leadership team, because it's that good. Now, a little bit about the author, John Gordon. He's a consultant, a keynote speaker, and a best-selling author of a number of books, which include The Energy Bus, The No Complaining Rule, a book titled Training Camp, and The Shark and the Goldfish. He's been featured on CNN, NBC's The Today Show. He's been in Forbes magazine, Oprah magazine, and also in the Wall Street Journal. And his profession is working with Fortune 500 companies, professional and college sports teams, and nonprofits to help them build their culture. So in the book, I'm going to share with you some culture strategies that you can easily use and put into practice in your own organization. Soup equals culture. The author argues that just as soup is a direct reflection of the soup maker, so is a business culture a direct reflection of you, the leader. So if the culture of your company sucks, it probably means that you as a leader suck. Hate to put it in so blunt of terms. But the culture of your organization drives the behavior of your people. And behavior drives habits. So culture will trump strategy every single time. You must nurture your culture. You must nurture your culture. Focus on creating a culture that will deliver the outcomes and the fruit that you want. John says that great leaders create great cultures. It's as simple as that. And as a leader, you must make this your number one priority, because your culture will affect the motivation of your team members. And the motivation will affect their productivity. And productivity affects performance, which is the equivalent to profits. So when you're doing that, you've got to remember that culture is your secret sauce. And it's the way that you're competitive and that you can win in business. Leading with optimism. When you lead with optimism, you don't just make soup, but you can expect to have great soup every single time. See, what you expect, you oftentimes get. John says that optimistic leaders are able to garner the support of others, and positive organizations outperform negative organizations hands down. Think about it. If you look at your company, how positive is it? How negative is it? Do you have a negative Nancy in the company? Do you have multiple? Is that negative Nancy or that negative Ned, however you want to classify it? Is it you? You've got to guard against pessimism in the company, John Gordon explains. He says, instead of being disappointed where you are, you can be optimistic about where you're going. And when folks talk about the challenges that are in front of any business, it's your job as the leader to turn it from challenge to opportunity. When people talk about the why of your company, and why it can't succeed, you're going to talk about all the reasons why it can succeed. And remember, as Jim Collins of Good to Great said, when people get on your bus, you share your optimism and you transfer your beliefs to them. But the fact is, you can't drive their bus for them. And if their bus is toxic and if their bus is negative, sometimes it's your job as the leader to let people off the bus. Because the negative employee can pollute an entire team. It can create a toxic work environment, and that can turn away countless customers. Higher possibility thinkers, says the author, it's okay to have people that play devil's advocate as long as their ultimate goal is to serve the team and deliver the best product to the customers. He also says that complaints are A-okay as long as they're solution focused. It's one thing to have complainers. It's other people to say, here's a problem and here's my solution to the problem. You're looking for the latter in your people. Trust. Trust is the missing ingredient in most cultures. It's a force that connects people to the leader and his or her vision. You see, trust generates commitment, and commitment fosters teamwork, and, well, you get the idea. Teamwork delivers results. Without great communication, though, culture, forget it. Companies spend millions and billions of dollars communicating and advertising to the customers to earn their trust and to earn their business. But little communication is spent to the most important customer in a business, the employees. So you've got to treat your people like a functional family. And you've got to ask the question, you've got to measure whether or not they're engaged. Now, this is a writer downer. Are your people engaged? Engaged employees are energized by their work, and they're energized by the mission of the company. And because of that, they perform very, very well. Employees that are not engaged have quit work before they even walk in the door. They've quit before they quit, so to speak. They're at work, but they're not really working with energy or with passion. They're just humming along. The actively disengaged are the employees that are just miserable. And quite frankly, they're sucking the life out of your team and the organization. So you have to measure, are your people engaged? Are they actively disengaged? Or are they just not engaged? And as a leader, it's your job to fix it. So, my business book ranking for this week. 1 star, 2 star, 3 stars, 4 stars. This is a solid book. It's simple, it's hokey at times, but at 163 pages, it's a quick and easy read, and it makes a lot of really great points and provides a lot of inspiration and resources to improve the culture of your business. Culture not only drives behavior and habits, but it also drives sales. And as an entrepreneur, as a CEO, that's one thing you should certainly be measuring. A little bit of me and a whole lot of you. And we're showing the world that we entrepreneurs, we mean business.